What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction. I'm back to start a new reaction playlist, and one I'm incredibly excited about. Those of you who follow my mixes at all will know one of my main mix series is my Ambient Excursion. It's a playlist in which I have, I think it's up to like 88 or 89 mixes now, and there are literally over a couple hundred more to go, meaning several years ago, starting I want to say like 2014, I had been making ambient mixes for a few years by that point, and by ambient I mean it's sort of a mixture Cybient, which is to say psychedelic ambient, down-tempo, what I sometimes called ambient trance, or again it's like slower trance, down-tempo trance, like true ambient where it's like soundscapes, chill out, progressive trance, because some of it is like fast enough that you could genuinely call it trance. So my Cybient mixes, and I often refer to it as acid Cybient because a lot of the tracks I use have acid in it to one degree or another. So yeah, I've been doing these Ambient Excursion mixes, or I was doing Cybient mixes for a few years, starting like 2010 I think, just putting them on these DJ sites that I used, and eventually SoundCloud. And then because I had by then joined Facebook, I wasn't on social media for a long time. I think 2015 is when I joined Facebook. I came into contact with some people who were in the Netherlands and who ran an independent internet radio station called Pure Radio. And through them, they got interested in my mixes, because I met a couple of them through Facebook. And ultimately they asked if I wanted to do a weekly radio show of those kind of mixes, and so I said sure, I'd love to do that. So they gave me excuse me, a 2.5 hour time block every Sunday morning. So basically, I tend to do mixes that are about an hour, like no matter what the genre, but I felt like, okay, so that's enough for 2 mixes. I'll do 2 mixes roughly about an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 15 minutes a piece. And so I did that show for the next, 2.5 years. So it was 2 new mixes in that style every weekend, 8 new mixes every month. And again, it ran for multiple years. And I already had several dozen that I had just done kind of on my own in the years previous. So I became very immersed in the sort of Cybient, down-tempo, chill-out, like chill-gressive sort of music scene. And as a result, I became a fan of like many different artists and different labels and so on, which is partly what my Ambient Excursion playlist is all about. I still have those like 300 something mixes that I did during those years, and I've even made a few since then. The program, the Pure Radio, basically came to an end. The founder, Mart Moon, passed away, and I think there were like some of the like hosting fees and whatever were getting more expensive. Eventually the radio station had kind of like a big celebration and then like called it quits. And I also was doing a hardcore show like that was on Saturdays, so yeah, like I was there till the end. I think it ended like 2017. So I've done a few Cybient mixes in the meantime, but the bottom line is Cybient, down-tempo, ambient with acid, it's maybe like my favorite style of music. I mean, honestly, I love acid techno, I love synth pop, I love punk rock, I love hardcore, I love so many different styles of music, but very few, if any, styles of music can sort of electrify my brain and give me like full body goosebumps the way that really good soaring and acidic Cybient can. So with all that set up, I'm going to start a playlist where I'm going to react to some of these tracks that, again, I think there's 88 ambient mixes in my playlist, Ambient Excursion playlist now. There will eventually be like over 300 or more, because I'm not going to stop making them. I just haven't been making them as much the last few years, but once I exhaust the trove that I'm sitting on, I will get back to making new ones. But the point is, I wanted to start talking about some of these tracks, so there might be no better way to start than to react to the first track of the first mix in the series. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to listen to a tune by Tentura and Zymosis. The tune is styled as Tentura versus Zymosis. I should mention, both Tentura and Zymosis are from Kiev in Ukraine. So shout out to them. Tentura is named Alexander. Zymosis originally started as a duo. It was a guy named Dmitry and a guy named Grigory. But yeah, eventually Grigory left, so it's just Dmitry now. His last release, meaning Zymosis, was 2020, so he seems to be still making tunes. I will say Tentura's last release seems to be, it's not showing, like 2015, so, oh no, 2018, so presumably he's still making tunes as well, although again, anything in Ukraine right now seems like it's, you know, a bit up in the air. So yeah, bottom line, I wish both of them the best, and honestly, this tune sort of epitomizes what I love about Sybian. It has epic melody, it has an incredible sort of like tribal vocal, it's got acid and not a little bit of that, it's got like a choral, almost like, you know, like Gregorian chant kind of vocal, it's got electricity, it's got a wicked like electric bass line. I mean, honestly, the different parts are all brilliant, and then you put it together and you get one of the most epic Sybian tunes. So again, there may be no better way to start this playlist than to react to Tentura versus Zymosis, Unity of Cultures. It was originally from 2009, it was Zymosis self-released, but then it got an official release, I think, a year later. Let me see if I have when that was. Yeah, it's 2010, it got a release on a CD. So here we go, Tentura versus Zymosis, Unity of Cultures. Like acid wire, it's like loose and unplugged. Discharging acid waves. Sort of like metallic shipping yard rhythm rolls in. Rhythmic, it's not like it's just part of the story. It's like the mad scientist keyboard Phantom of the Opera made like acidic down tempo. Drum rhythm, the bass line. That's, you know, that was the main bit, right? I mean, the voice is beautiful, but listen to that drum rhythm. Percussion rolling back in before the drop, because there is a drop coming. Gurgling, frying the rest of the track. Digitized and like twisted inside out. The acid, by the way, the quality of it is stunning. It's like that Buddhist chant where they do the circular breathing, unity of cultures, different flavors along the way, like Gregorian chant kind of feel, a tribal rhythm, a sort of, again, like a Buddhist chant. It's like the track is brilliant sonically anyway, and it also does what it sets out to, you know, describe. Yeah, bottom line, it's one of my favorite tunes. You know, you could end the sentence there. Again, like seriously, I like all different kinds of music, but the few types of music or, you know, artists or tracks move my brain the way that good Sybian does, and that's a great example. So again, shout out to Tentura and Zymosis. Yeah, hope they're still making music, hope they're okay. Do let me know if you know, follow this kind of music and you are aware. But yeah, this will be the first of many. Again, like, even if I just had the mixes that are already up on my channel, which is like, again, like I think 88 Sybian mixes, you know, each of them have like 7, 8, 10, 12 tracks. So yeah, even if it was just that, we'd already have a lot to talk about. And again, there's like tracks that I have like in my collection that I may never have used in mixes. So bottom line, this is the beginning of a hopefully voluminous playlist. Do let me know what you think of this one. Like I said, it's one of my favorites. And if you didn't know of my ambient excursion playlist, I just would recommend it because it's basically the kind of stuff you just heard, but I throw in samples from like Carl Sagan, Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm very interested in like astronomy and, you know, potentially in the future human space exploration and so on. So yeah, I sort of like bring those vibes to these tracks when I put them together for mixes. So like I said, if you haven't checked it out, do look at my ambient excursion playlist. Other than that, I will see you next time.